Hi folks, welcome back to the Addicted Bookworm. Happy last day of the month. I'm going to be the first I'm going to say something that is a little not related to what I'm going to talk about. It took forever for me to get all my stuff. And I ended up getting the digital version of the book that I never got delivered. So forever, always, in eternity, there will be a book missing from my Cozy Caper series. So I'm not going through the problems that I got with that. Anyways, we're going to be talking about the 7-month review of the Kobo Clara BW, the device that I got originally to get away from Amazon. And I'm going to explain about what I like about it, and then also a fair warning if you intend to sell your Kobo. So, very good piece of advice. Alright. So, I got this around the, holiday season, just like I got my Libra Color during Mother's Day season. I call it Mother's Day season because it seems like it's an entire period of time that everybody tries to get flowers for their mother. This also marked the 6th year my mother was not around. So I kind of decided to buy the Libra to make myself feel better. But anyways, so alright, so getting away from that depressing bit of news. So I got this, and I love it. I love my Clara. I really do. And for 6 months, for 6.5 months, I had no issues with this device. None. I could literally say to people, "Oh, I've had this for this many months, and I've not had the issues that I have been told might appear with this with any of Rakuten's Kobo products." No, not going to have any issues. I had an issue, and it was a big one, and I did an entire video on it called, I think it was called My Big Kobo Problem, or Big Kobo Problem. It was a big Kobo problem. It was, because this is not just, oh, I download files and it messes up my Kobo. It's my account problem. And I decided I didn't want Kobo Plus anymore. If I'm not going to have access to every book on the catalog, I don't want it. So I canceled it. They gave me 24 hours later, I got an email from PayPal telling me that $7.51 was going to, no, $8.51 was going to be downloaded back onto my card. I got it like the next day. And I was like, oh yeah. So I was able to eat, which was great. But I got paid like the Wednesday, and I actually waited until the following day to take advantage of my 50% off my ebook, or ebooks, as the ladies like, your ebooks, because we all know you can't just buy one. And I was not insulted by that. So I did it, I took advantage of it, got my books downloaded, no problem. Now, the book that I was trying to read, that I had not been allowed to read, I actually found it on my library system, and I was able to borrow it that way. So I was able to find out who killed the chef, which was great. So, despite that big problem, I still love my Kobo. I still do. I like the schematics. I like the daily deals. I like my wish list. I went and put a whole bunch of cozy mysteries on my wish list so that I could buy them without having to look for them. And I will tell you, that feature is still so great. It's also great in the Kindle as well, but we're not talking about Kindles here. I will, though, mention Kindle a couple times in this video. So, of course, I said to myself, oh, I'm just going to have one book. No. No. Um, so, I do, what I do is I read one book at a time. And that's what I do. I checked out their free books. Now, I typed in free cozy mysteries, and it did include the Kobo Plus books because, according to the computer, they are free books, but you have to have a membership to get one to be able to read it. And that is if it actually is working. And then they had the actual free books, the books that authors have said to Kobo, hey, I want you to make this book free because I know that if they like it, they're going to get other books. And I'm so grateful for authors for doing that. I really am. As an author myself, I would do that as well. I like the fact is that the Kobo is waterproof. It's light. Most of this month, I have had a swollen wrist that has not gone away because I keep on doing stuff to my wrist to make the swelling stay. But this is perfect if you can't use a bigger e-reader. This is absolutely great. I am waiting on my magnetic case to come in, and also I got these inserts. Really enough, the inserts, the really nice ones, are only available for the Kobo. It's not available for the Kindle. The Kindle, you get like the paper ones. I get the plastic ones, which are far more durable. Everything about this device is amazing. I love it. It is just my account I am not too thrilled about. I'm not thrilled about. Now, going to talking about Kindle. As much as I love my Kobo, as said in that video last week, I have never had an issue with my Kindle. I've never had an issue with my subscription blocking me from accessing Kindle Unlimited books. Now, they will block my access to them. Once I've hit 20, they'll say, hey, you got to return one to be able to get another. And I will still, I'm going to keep my Kindle Unlimited because I've had no issues with it. And that is the only reason I'm keeping it, is no issues, none at all. However, I have noticed that if Kobo has a book for free, generally Barnes & Noble also has it as well. So that's, I like that. All in all, would I recommend the Kobo? No, I would not recommend the Kobo. Why? Because Kobos are rising in popularity only because Amazon has forgotten what enabled them to be as rich as they are now. They forget that. And they forget that it's their customer base that enabled them to have the money they have now, to be able to invest in these readers and make them good. If you have a broken Kindle and you're trying to decide if you want to buy another Kindle, if you decide to go ahead and buy the Kobo, okay, it's your money. You do what you want with it. I'm not going to say don't buy another Kindle. I'm not going to say don't buy a Kobo. What I am going to say is buy how you feel like it will help you out, or will be a benefit to you. And as much as I love this device, I will say I love my Kindles more, mainly because I have not had the issues with Kindle as I've had with Kobo in the area of my subscription. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say this. I absolutely love the Kobo VIP. It's $10 a year. It's $10 a year. Now, I know with Amazon, you can buy Kindles and not buy Kindles, sorry, you can buy ebooks and they will allow you to rack up points. However, and this is a big however, you are extremely, like, it's only like 300 points you have to be able to get an ebook. With Kobo, and this is a difference between Kobo and Kindle. With Kobo, you can continuously rack up those points. So, for example, is last week I got a coupon for 50% off my next order, which I was like, oh yes. So what did this girl do? I went a little hog wild. A little, not a lot, a little. I decided, even though I had the books on my Nook, I decided to get the first 4 books of the Booktown series. I decided to get the first 3 books of the it's from the same author. I also got the first 4 books of the Country Store series. They try to like do a restore. Unfortunately, I know exactly how that like turns out. Yeah, it turns out not so good. So I actually I got those books, and then I went and yeah, that's just about it. I'm about ready to say something else, but no, I didn't do that. This week I got, I believe it's like 3 more of the Booktown series, or it might have been 4. I got the next books in the other one, and I picked up all the way up to the one I hadn't read on here as well. So I was like, I just absolutely like loved it. But yeah, so one of the downsides of the Kobo is that you can restore the books that you deleted, but it won't open. So when you delete it again, you have to go, basically, I want this entirely removed from my account, and then you go back in there and you rebuy the book. So that was an interesting thing. But yeah, so because I really wanted to read those books. I really wanted to read my Country Store books. I wanted to read all that, and I racked up a good amount of points, which I was very happy about. I was very, very happy about that. So hold on. So yeah, another thing that I really like about this is the that's not what I wanted. Let me get my glasses on. The Discover tab. So this is your daily book deal, which is really cool. And then I have a wish list down here, and I basically yeah, so it has like buy now, yeah, so body at Bunko. So yeah, so what I think yeah, it's like really weird, but anyways, yeah, so you have your wish list here. Yeah, so I It's great. I love it. Um, but yeah. So so as far as like, if you absolutely do not want to buy books, okay, no, some people, they go and shop their Kobo and they're like saying, I'm absolutely not going to buy books. You can actually just say, I'm just going to use this device to read library books, because that's basically what I do. Is 90% of the time I will check out library books. So one of the books that I got from the library was actually on Kobo Plus. However, because I knew I, number one, no longer had access to Kobo Plus for two reasons. One, I canceled it, and two, the account just wouldn't recognize it, even though it was on there. Um, I decided to see if I could get it from the library, because I really did want to read it. And sure enough, it happened to be on the library, and I borrowed it, and that is how I am doing it. Um, but I also had to go back and I had to delete like all the books that I no longer had access to. Anyways, um, overall, my experience with the Kobo has been 95% positive. The 5% was just that, like. Now, I will say this is not the fault of Kobo. This is the fault of Amazon. Amazon would not. So, the author of Dungeon Crawling Carl went and signed a contract with Libby, and I thought that meant that I could borrow Dungeon Crawling Carl from the library. I cannot. However, I think there's a workaround on that. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to have to check out book number 4, which is The Gate of the Pharaoh Gods. I'm actually going to try to borrow that from the library, and what I'm actually going to do is download it so basically, even though Amazon has that whole thing, they're, so if I go on there, because I'm going to try it out, I got to try it out. Let's see here. I can download it as a PDF file, or not PDF, sorry, an EPUB file, because that's what, ouch. Why do I always hurt myself? Why do I do this? Anyways, so the transfer cable allows you to transfer books from your computer to your device. So I'm going to try that out and see if that actually works. If it works, I will let you guys know, because the biggest issue that I have had with this whole exclusivity of Amazon, even though I do participate in it, is that you cannot read like books that are under Amazon's exclusivity. My brother says it better than me, but however, I'm willing to give it a try. So I will probably do that probably sometime this year to see that if that actually does in fact work. So yeah, that is what I'm going to do. Now, will I return it back to the library? Yes, I will return it back to the library. Don't worry about that. But I just want to see if I can read Dungeon Crawling Carl on my Kobo. But other than that, I have had, like I said, other than the whole thing with the Kobo Plus not working anymore and all that, I'm very happy with my Kobos. I'm very happy that Kobo as a whole, as a company, Rakuten, gave me my refund back. And I was like, great, because I really hadn't used it. I used it like one day, and that was it. So, yeah. So I am, like I said, very happy with it. There are a couple titles that I did have on Kobo Plus that I just want to go ahead and buy and everything. But, as I said, if you do not have an e-reader, and you do not want to be involved with Amazon, I definitely would recommend getting the Kobo. I would not recommend, and I don't understand why this is even a thing. Why you want an e-reader that looks like your phone? Sorry, I do not need to be reminded that there is a nasty addictive drug called the phone. And also some of the other ones. I think a lot of the other e-readers are just way too expensive, and I don't have the money to afford them. Anyways, that is my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it did not deter you from actually buying a Kobo. But if you feel like that you want to buy a Kobo, go on ahead. They have a website. Enjoy. And if you get the colored one, please get the white one, because we all like to break up the bleakness that is our existence with some kind of color. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.